Hello and welcome to For the Love of Baby Boomer Show. I'm your host, Dolores Clivert, and we are going to have an awesome show today. We have a young lady that is a guest of ours, and she's here, and she's going to tell us about her wellness journey. Her name is Lahoma Wellman. Welcome. Welcome to our show, Lahoma. How are you this day?
Hi, I'm fine. First of all, I say thank you for having me. I am honored to be a guest on your show. And as I said, I'm doing wonderful today. And how are you?
Oh, this is a blessed day. It's a blessed week, and I'm feeling every bit of it. It is a great week. Yes. And this
Amen.
is a week of thanks. And
Yes,
I must
yes.
say, I'm so thankful for just a whole lot. Yes, just because I had a birthday Monday and I made another year
Oh,
around the sun.
amen.
Yes.
Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And it just feels so good. And so many people, friends and family, and people I don't know, singing and wishing me happy birthday. They just make me feel good. You can't help but feel good.
Amen. I
Well,
am. Go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say, so well, Lahoma, you have a story to tell. And I'm going to tell the audience how we met. We met through our church.
Amen.
And we are in a small group that you have started. And I got to meet you. And that small group, by the way, is a blessing to all of us. Thank you for having it.
Amen. Amen. It's my pleasure.
Yes. And you had told us about your story and your journey. And I
Yes.
believe that it really would bring blessings and information to this audience. So I would like to welcome you to start to tell us your journey. Okay?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for that introduction. And I just want to let you know the small group that I started, it was started because, a lot of people have a lot of things that they want to talk about. And sometimes they just don't feel like they have people to share it with. And they can share things like their journey, just like I'm going to be sharing mine.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. With you all right now. And I just thank God for all the ones that come out to that so that they can be able to express themselves. But as you know, as I was sharing with the group, I had my journey is through diabetes.
Mm.
And for a long time, I was raised in the apostolic faith, and a couple of the churches that I went to, they did not believe in going to the doctors, and they said if you went to doctors, it was showing that you didn't have any faith. So for
Mm.
a long time, I'm thinking about starting in '94 when I had given birth to my last child that I had lost. I started having these symptoms. It was like constant urination and
Mm.
a lot of if I can say vaginal itching and different things like that that I
Mm-hmm.
left ignored because you can't go in the church that I was in, you can't go to the doctors of this that, and the other. So that was in '94. So in '98 I left that church and I moved back home to Richmond with my family because I was down there with my husband's family and all of that. But I,
Okay.
came back home to my family in '98, and I got a job at the time it was called MCV, but now it's called VCU Health Systems.
Okay.
So I was working, and the symptoms got really bad, and I said I can't really ignore them anymore. So one day when I was sitting at work, I just picked up the phone and called one of the doctors within the building to schedule me an appointment. So I went to the it was about a week later, and when I went into the doctor's office and I beginning to explain the symptoms that I had been having for like the past 4 years, she immediately did a glucose testing on me for diabetes, and
Mm-hmm.
my sugar level at that time was 548,
Oh my
and she
goodness.
was like,
Hold it.
"Oh my."
Hold it. Hold
Mm-hmm,
it. Say that
mm-hmm.
number again.
548, and she was like she could not believe that I was not in a coma.
I can't either.
You know,
Do you know by any chance what the normal range numbers are?
well, they do not. It shouldn't go over a they don't want it under 80 and they don't want it over
One
130, like on an
120,
average.
something like that.
120.
Yeah,
So
it's a range
I was
of
that
80
much
to
over. Yes.
120. Oh my
Yes. And I
gosh.
was that much over. So they were surprised I was not in a coma. So she immediately put me on metformin and glipizide. And it worked a little bit, but they didn't quite do what they needed it to do. So they put me on insulin about 3 months later.
Mm-mm-mm.
So I went I went from, and so there's no telling, like I'm saying, I've been experiencing those symptoms for 4 years, and due to the religion that I was in, I wasn't getting checkups or anything. So imagine when I finally do go for a checkup, things had already started to happen in my body that were like irreversible, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and me being who I was, even when you come out of a religion or different things like that, somehow the things that you've been taught since you were a child are still rooted in you.
Yes,
So
yes.
I didn't really take it seriously. So I kept, eating what I wanted to eat. I didn't stop with the sodas and the sweets right away. And over time, my A1C was like at one point up to 13, and they were telling me, Miss
Wow,
Wellman,
girl.
you have got to get your A1C down to at least 6. And man, I'm at a 13.
Mm-mm.
And and I'm like, I didn't know what an A1C was. And
Uh,
they had to explain to me that, we get them done every 3 months. It measures,
mm-hmm.
you know, your your diabetes range over a course of 3 months to let you know how control or out of control you are. And I
Exactly.
was off the charts. I was
Yeah.
like way out of control.
13
They said,
is double the number.
yeah, it was a 13. And I'm telling you, I used to feel bad a lot and tired and sleepy.
Yes.
And, all of this was during the time. And I'm thinking that I just have, low blood or whatever, whatever. But as a result, I did become anemic. So I
Okay.
was anemic for quite a while. So they had me taking like 3 iron pills a day
Oh my
because that's
gosh.
just how anemic I was. And my doctor said they set me up with a diabetic dietitian.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had to go to a dietitian. I had to learn how many carbs that I could have, what I could cut out, like in a setting, in a meal, and then I had to learn how I had to do finger sticks before I did each meal to know where my sugar was so I would know how much insulin I would need to take before I ate based on the amount of carbs that I was taking in. So
Mm.
it was like a whole process of me learning how to eat all over again and learning how to pretty much just cope because people don't realize, they think cancer is rough and cancer is rough,
Mm-hmm.
but if you don't manage your diabetes, it can be just as bad as cancer. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't realize that. They just say, ooh, it's just diabetes. I can do this, that, and the other. No, but you really have to take it seriously because it affects more than people know. It affects your eyesight.
Mm-hmm.
I now get, I started off when I went to get my eyes checked, I started having really bad vision. So, as a result of me not keeping my diabetes in control 7 years ago, well, 8 years now, when I went to the eye, I used to have to go to the eye doctor frequently.
Mm-hmm.
So, 8 years ago, when I went, they did an emergency laser surgery on me right in the office. I had
Okay.
to have it that day. And when I came back, they said, "I need you back in 3 months." So in 3 months, the swelling and everything behind my eyes had gotten so bad in both of my eyes that I had to get eye injections. So when the doctor told me I'm gonna have to get you need an injection today, and I said, well, give me a minute. Can you step out? It's somebody I need to call. So when he went in the office, I called on Jesus and I started praying. I said, Lord, I said, this man wants to stick a needle in both of my eyes, to keep, for my vision or whatever. So God gave me the answer, told me, go ahead and do it. So when he came back in, I said, well, I got the answer that I needed. I said, we can proceed with this.
Okay.
So that night, 8 years ago, I got my first eye injection in both of my eyes. And fast forward 3 years ago, okay, so when I was 50, I had cataracts in my eyes, in both
Mm.
of my eyes. So they gave, and my right eye was always my strongest eye, my
Mm-hmm.
good eye. My left eye was my weaker eye. So after the cataract surgery, they gave my right eye. They did first. It kind of messed the vision up worse in my right eye, and then a week later, I got the cataract removed out of my out of my left eye, which was my weaker eye. But
Okay.
look at God; He didn't want both of my eyes to be messed up that bad at the same time.
Right.
So when they did the surgery, and it kind of like did something to my right eye. God strengthened my left eye.
Oh, okay.
So whereas I was getting injections in both eyes,
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago I stopped getting injections in my left eye, and now I only get it in my right eye. So I'm trusting God to eventually, heal my right eye as well.
Okay.
But also in 2019, right at the beginning when COVID was just becoming at its height,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm thankful to be home this Thanksgiving because the day before Thanksgiving, I was called into the hospital and they took my right toe off
Oh my goodness.
due to mismanagement of my diabetes. Because,
Right.
although I was doing better at managing it now, pretty much most of the damage to my body had already been done. And that was irreversible because I had gotten the neuropathy in both of my feet. I
Right.
had retinopathy in my eyes.
Right.
And then I had to lose my toe.
Well, hold on a minute, just so the
Mhm.
audience would know they are hearing all these words, and it's like, okay, so what is this? Uppity, uppity,
Hmm.
and it's
Hmm.
basically when you lose the feeling. Is that
Yes,
so?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
due to nerve damage. Yes.
Right.
So in the feet is then and it's like this, you lose the feeling in your feet, but there are times when because the nerves are damaged, it causes so much pain. Like you could step on a tack and not know it.
Mm-hmm.
But when the nerves in your body get to acting up, it's like excruciating pain shooting all through your feet. So
Mm-hmm.
I could drop hot grease on my foot and not feel it. But when the nerves start acting up, it's like the most horrible pain you ever. If you ever had, and if people who have high arches, if
Mm-hmm.
your arch has ever dropped and you know how that feels,
Mm-hmm.
imagine that times three when your nerve damage in your feet start acting up.
Okay, Lahoma. Wow, this is a whole mouthful right now.
Yes.
Um, well, we're going to take a pause right now. And I do have one question that's going to lead us into the end of this segment. Lahoma, what is your age? You're not a baby boomer, correct?
I am 57 years old.
You're 57 years old and you started this journey in your
In
50s.
1998, yes. I
Okay.
started 1998 when I moved back to Richmond. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Lahoma. This is for
You're
the love of baby boomers, and